We're going to go over the Peavey Richie Hill Series 2 system. First, we're going to go over the components that come with this system. You have the Peavey PVI6500 mixing amplifier. Then you have two complete microphone packages made by Peavey. Comes with the microphone, clip, complete boom stand. It has the bag for the mic, also a bag for the mic stand, so it's a complete kit. Then you have your speaker stands, as well as your Peavey PVX 12 passive speakers. This particular one has the laptop stand. Laptop is just there for demonstration purposes. Same with the TV, demonstration purposes. And then you have a TV stand. Depending on which system you're looking at, you're going to find that you may be looking at an ad that just has the amp, speakers, and microphones. If you're looking for the complete kit, where you have a laptop stand, TV stand, and so forth, look at other ads to see which one this is. This is just to give you an idea of the core system and how it runs. We're going to go over the hookups first. Very simple on the back. Here you have the power, two 1/4-inch cables that come out for your speakers, go right into the back of the speaker. You also have a secondary input just in case you ever want to use what's called a speak on. It's a twist on. So depending on which system you get, you may end up with that type of cable. It's not always going to be the same identical one. We're going to go around to the front because this is the most important aspect to the system. I'm going to start from the right and go over and talk about this amplifier. Right here it has a foot switch, which is typically a musician might use this. And then you also have a record out. Then you also have the Bluetooth right here. You'll notice that it's solid green. That means it's already paired up with my phone. In fact, let's go ahead and look at it. You'll see on my phone it shows up as BT Core. So typically what you would do is you would scan, you would look for that, and then you would pair it up. So it's showing that it's connected to the media device. Then above this is a phantom power. That is not engaged, so it's actually out. You would push this in to engage it, and what that does is if you have phantom powered microphones, typically like choir mics, stuff like that, anything that's a condenser, you look at it, it might be phantom powered, so you would need to engage that in order to use it. As you go up here, you have two knobs. This is your master volume. Typically you'll run the master volume here to here. I have it full open so that I could get as much power on the microphones as I can, but most often smaller spaces you want to be right here. But just for demonstration purposes today, you have it here. And if you notice, you keep hearing this beeping noise. That's basically, it's my phone showing that something's updating. So you're hearing it through my phone, you know that it's working with the Bluetooth. Next to here is a Cosmos processor. What this is, it's no different than looking at the EQ or the highs, mids, and lows here. This is just another one. And the way you would do this to EQ your system, you want to EQ your system where all these are straight up and down. These right here, I would even turn those all the way off maybe, or just turn them down a little bit, or keep them straight up and down. And then take your EQ and start EQing. You want to run a song that is going to have a full range, and then just start. What I typically do is if I'm listening to the song, I'll go all the way down on this one. I'll keep bringing it up, bring it up, bring it up, and you listen till it sounds harsh, and then just back off of a little bit, and that's where you would want that band. It's going to go by your ear. I know that there's different music that might react different to the EQ. You may want to adjust it, but once you adjust this, then you come over here and adjust this, and then you do your final tweaking for the songs, adjusting your highs, mids, and lows here. Going back over here, you have a white button that says mute. What that does is it mutes all 5 microphone inputs. It will not mute the device input. You'll notice that the device input, the laptop is plugged here where it's dual RCA into 1/8 inch. And then also you'll see that it says mic, media, MP3. So I have this pushed in so that I could use the MP3. If I didn't have this pushed in and I only wanted to use it as a mic, you can utilize this as a microphone channel. Okay, then up here you have an MP3 player. It will handle a thumb drive as well as an SD card. Pretty simple, straightforward. Then you have an effects center. Right now I have it on R2, which means I'm in the room reverb, and that's the second room within that series. And then you could change the parameters, which if I go up high, that tends to increase how dramatic the effects is. So you can mess around with that and put it in different ones. If I want to change this, all I got to do is just do that and then push it in, and now all of a sudden I'm on another one. Now for your microphones, let me go ahead and go over this real quick. You have your master volume for each channel. Then you have how much effects you're going to put in as far as the echo. Then of course you have your lows, mids, and highs. Most often your mids are probably going to be higher than it would for music because you want to brighten the vocals. Once again, just listen to it, adjust it, and you'll get used to it. XLR just plugs straight in here. So you have microphone 1 and 2, and then of course you could put other ones. You'll see the level that you put this on. You just continually bring it up, and you want to make sure you don't go too far, because once it's too far you'll start to hear that ringing or that pinging noise, and you want to back off of it. So it's a little bit getting used to it. You have a manual that you could read and so forth. When you're not connected to the in fact, let me go ahead and try to disconnect from mine, and let's see what happens when I disconnect. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and disconnect. Now you see the light went out, and you see how now it's just blinking. What the blinking means is that the Bluetooth is engaged and it needs to be paired up to something. So once again, if I go in here and I'm looking at my phone and I go into settings, then I go into my Bluetooth, make sure it's on, and then I scan, and what it does is it brings up the available devices towards the bottom. So it's scanning it right now. And there again, you see how it says BT Core and BT Core? That's because I was messing around with more than one of those, but for you, it'll only come up once. But that's what you'll do, and then once it's paired, it will be a solid green light as opposed to the blinking that you see here now. One of the things I want to say is if you're looking here, this is your 1/8" plug for the sound, and then you have an HDMI cable. If you're doing karaoke, you come out of your laptop into your TV. A couple things that I want to go over with you is you'll notice that the volume's down here, but I want you to hear something. I'm going to turn this up a little bit, and then watch if you mess with this. See how that happens? So most often when you ever mess around with this, wanting to unplug it, you want to make sure that you have this down. It's still going to make that clicking noise, but you want to make sure that you don't have the volume up when you're messing around with that. Then also, another thing I want to show you on the laptop is if you hook up an HDMI TV to do karaoke, and for some reason you end up only hearing the sound through the TV, all you have to do is you go into the speaker icon, and you see it's right there. And all you got to do is basically just right click on it, and you see how this comes up? You click your playback devices, and then you'll see a box show up. Right now it's not doing the HDMI, but if for any reason it's stuck on HDMI, you'll see a green check next to the HDMI. And then what you'll do is you'll right click and disable it, and then it will go to the internal speakers. So that's just in case you ever run into that problem. So that's pretty much it. And once again, you want to pay attention to what's in the ad, because it may not be identical to this. More so, this video is for you to understand the core products, which is the amplifier, the speakers, and the microphones. The other stuff that you see in this video may be in another ad or just for demonstration purposes. So always make